Elden Ring critiques always conveniently leave out how Elden Ring has the worst multiplayer in series and how detrimental that is to the game as a whole, because none of them understand how important multiplayer is to Souls games. And you know what? This is actually very interesting topic, because this thing has 1,000 likes, yeah? And then I see this. Not gonna lie, PvP can be removed from every single Souls game and my perception of these games wouldn't change at all. And this one has 7.3 thousand likes, which I think is a decent representation of how many people genuinely care about PvP. But I think also it is misunderstanding of initial post, because multiplayer elements in Elden Ring are not only PvP. And I wouldn't even say that in particular Elden Ring has the worst multiplayer elements altogether, because a lot of these elements that are really loved by a vast majority of community are still here. Asynchronous elements like messages, for one, yeah, that you leave on the ground. It's a multiplayer element, I would say quite important to the feel of a united community in Souls games, yeah. That being said, not even giving a try to the multiplayer element in the Souls games like invasions or duels, yeah, I think it's a huge missed opportunity, because these games are very unique. When it comes to his gameplay. They are also very goofy. So I would say that no matter if you are hyper competitive and you just want to do well against decent players and try to be as best as possible, or you just want to do goofy shit, like this game is just perfect for that. And that ratio that we have seen on Twitter makes me kind of sad, because it is a direct indicator that is of course obvious, yeah, since it is a PvP, yeah, like, so by nature is gonna be niche, but it is kind of sad that people really just do not want to give it a chance, because there is no other experience like this. You cannot find this type of combat, you cannot find this type of PvP experience anywhere. So many good multiplayer games out there and people choose to spend their time on Souls PvP, don't even joke. And where are these good games? What non-Souls PvP games give you 3D field and possibility to have combat in that 3D field, whereas the game is actually an action RPG at its core? For Honor doesn't have spacing. The way how it really works in game like For Honor is that you are facing each other, you're on the one field, and then you choose to click particular combination of buttons. Let's say that here I'm going to click arrow to the right and R1. And then another thing that this guy gotta have to do is to click arrow to the left and let's say freaking L1, yeah, in order to counter this attack. And then eventually this guy over here is gaining priority, and now it's his turn to click left R2, and then this guy has to, instead of R1, click like a right R2. I know that this is not how it works exactly like in For Honor. I just giving the explanation of the concept. You could say that For Honor combat system on its core is kind of like quick time events that you are constantly like exchange with another player. Souls PvP combat is different, because you have a guy versus another guy. Both of them have their funny swords, and then you have a field that this player can maneuver however he fucking wants around. And then the gameplay mechanics are focused on going, let's say, a little bit to that left, then this guy is going to click R1, and you have to now time your R1 in order to hit the guy on the right. But initially, you gotta have moved away in order to make the other guy whiff, yeah? So, like, it's a little bit different way of approaching how the combat works, yeah? Because this guy, initially, it's not like this guy just clicks R1 and then you have quick time event to click L1. Instead, what you do is you gotta have to space yourself out firstly, and then counter with your R1 for one, yeah? So spacing is one of the most, if not the most important thing in Souls games. You don't have games like that. And I mean, okay, pardon, you do, fighting games. But fighting games are usually on 2D field, even though they are 3D, yeah? Like games like Tekken. This field that you have in Tekken is technically 3D. You can even strafe in these games, but combat is still primarily in 2D. So it's not it. You cannot substitute something like Souls games with 2D games. So this guy coming with an argument that, oh, so many good multiplayer games. No one ever actually brings a specific argument. What type of game could be a substitute for Souls games? Closest I can think of is Naraka Blade Point. And Naraka also is not exactly about direct combat and doesn't really have that particular feel to the combat like Souls games. It's just not it. It is not the same. It's not similar even. What else? Multiplayer and especially PvP has felt like afterthoughts to these games. You can occasionally see how fun they can be and the potential they have, but there is always one or more things holding it back in every game. People actually generally bring this argument very often, and I think it couldn't be more wrong. From Software, of course, know their fans and know that primarily people play their games for the quote-unquote solo experience. So of course it's not going to be main thing like ever, yeah? But it doesn't mean that multiplayer elements like co-op or PvP are afterthoughts. It just means that firstly they focus on particular thing and they build around it, yeah? Like PvP in these games is directly correlated with single player quote-unquote experience. It's not even single player experience. When you're doing like freaking playthrough, yeah, in Elden Ring. Let's actually see, yeah? Okay, like, dude, this message, rolling, and bro pointing at the wall, yeah? Element of the multiplayer. You can be playing technically a single player game, quote unquote, even though it's not really single player. Tunnel ahead. Hidden path ahead. Like, you know, this type of shit is important to the experience. And I wonder how many people that are self-proclaimed fucking haters of the multiplayer elements in the Souls games, and they say that these games do not need multiplayer elements, just used these fucking messages, yeah, on many different occasions. You know, and messages is one thing. Another thing are bloodstains, for one. Bloodstains tell the story. Necessary item ahead. Do it. I mean, like, this is great, yeah? You have that type of message, and then you also have Bloodstain that just show the poor souls that actually got tricked and literally read the message and jumped off. Like, it's hilarious. Like, tell me how this is not fucking great addition to the game. Mage invasion. You know what? Just looking at this guy, and I changed my mind. I think, indeed, PvP sucks. Fuck multiplayer elements in these games, for real. But yeah, the fact, like, look, realistically, these guys going through the game, I invaded them. You might not like multiplayer elements, let's say, like, elements like invasions, yeah? Sure. But it is enrichment of the gameplay. There is no fucking shot you are not gonna tell me it is not enrichment of the gameplay. Even if that pisses you off that some fucking red asshole just invaded you, yeah? And potentially tries to stop you from progressing. I think this is net positive still. Really. Game do not, especially game like this, it's not like it's supposed to always pat you on your head and give you like a feeling of a hero. Sometimes you're gonna have to receive simply a small beating, and it's not like you are genuinely actually losing much. Because realistically, what's going to happen? This guy gonna die Freaking Grace is right there. They didn't even progress this location at all. And what if they are going to beat experienced invader like me? It's also going to be very fucking memorable to them. And it can totally happen because Elden Ring is designed in the way that you can literally just completely remove an invader from the face of Earth with one proper blender. You don't even have to actually know what you are doing. Elden Ring can basically kill another player by use of like a one button. I would like receive hit from the Blasphemous Blade or something like that, and then someone else would actually hit me meanwhile, and that would be it. That would be GG. That would be end of invasion, and they would have won, yeah? I cannot stress it enough. You really don't need to be patted on your head every single fucking time while playing video game. I think creator of Lords of the Fallen, when we had interview with them, yeah, actually he explained it pretty well. Souls games are not exactly about difficulty, they are more about tension, and having that invader adds to tension. And I think this is pretty well explained. Like, generally the fact that right now there's invader of the backs of these guys, yeah? And now they have to deal with Red Badman. I would say that's pretty cool overall. And yet again, like, look, these guys, are they good? They are not fucking good, of course. They're just like some guys playing through the game. But is it going to be like so much super easy for me to beat them? Also not. I'm generally gonna have to sweat because of the way how this game works. Like, I don't have possibility to just like win this invasion, yeah? That was a problem in other Souls games though. Like, that, for one, invasions of Dark Souls 2 were absurdly fucking simple. Way too simple, actually. One down. Even more tension applied. What to do, gamers asking. They wondering, what can we do now? Oh my god. Maybe some hunter gonna come. Maybe there's gonna be a moment of relief. That would be nice. Bruh, this guy is kind of lagging. That's truly an experience for me. Alright. Like, hit. Oh my god. My god. What the fuck is this net? Alright, here we go. Well, crazy. I'm not sure if that was exactly the best commercial of invasions, if I ever did. Latency can fuck up a lot, but overall, even with the flaws of how latency basically works in this game, I think it's still worth to play invasions, and there is more joy to them than upsetness, I would say. Hey. Bye. Oh shit, he survived. That's crazy. Have you seen it? What the fuck? GG. Experience and reach